Hello, everybody. This is the Hillbilly Chronicler. Most of you know me as Michael Bell. I decided to do a second channel as I like to talk about a whole lot of stuff and not just church related. I'm talking about my hometown of Tullahoma, Rutledge Falls, that area, and a lot of the legends and lores of the South. I decided it's time I embrace my Southern heritage more than ever and my accent. I can't get away from it. If I was to ever get this book done and if I wrote the way I talk, the editors would have a field day with me trying to correct. No, can't say ain't, can't, yeah, I can too. That's what I say. But this is just a little info on what to come. And the shirt reads true. Sometimes my mouth gets to rambling before my brain kicks in, but you get older, it gets worse, I guess. You see behind me, I got a wide variety of tastes. I like anything John Wayne, Western related. You see the gun belts. Yes, I've got guns to go in them. There's a flat Earth map up in the corner. We'll discuss stuff like that. Yeah, you do see a couple of with a Confederate flag on it. If you can read what's on it, it's heritage, not hate. It's history. Deal with it. You know, it's seeing the stuff going on up in Minnesota. You know, stuff like that just don't fly down south because we take care of things. Or I'm not promoting violence, no, but unless you're born here or you come here legally, you are not a citizen and you do not deserve the rights thereof. That's just the way it is. Go ahead and call me MAGA. Yes, I voted for Trump, not once but twice. I got less respect for him this go around than what I did the first go around because he hadn't done a lot of stuff that he promised. He ain't drained the swamp yet. Well, you learn in politics that they've all got something on each other, so therefore they don't try to hang each other. You know, the Clintons, the Obamas, Bidens, Bushes, Democrats, and Republicans, they should have all been hung out to dry years ago. I guess my eyes were completely open with 9/11 because that was an inside job. Ain't no doubt about it. There's going to be more stuff like that. But I'm still going to keep the ancient past thing to where it'll strictly be Bible related, church related teachings and all that. This channel is just going to be what my mama would call a whatnot. I got one in the corner over here. It's got this, that, and everything on it. Junk drawers. I got bolts, nuts, Christmas lights, washers, screws, nails, just all in a drawer. So from week to week, you're not going to know what you're going to get until you click play. So if you don't mind the country accent, if you don't mind just an unfiltered session, like the podcast or the video channel, subscribe to it. That way you'll get updates. If there's a subject you want to talk about, shoot me an email at thehillbillychronicler@gmail.com. Uh, if I hadn't heard it from my granddaddy growing up around the wood stove with a chew tobacco and a cup of coffee in my hand at 6 years old, then I can find out somebody that has, you know. That's why I call myself the high tech hillbilly because I do a lot of research on the internet and I can find out stuff, you know, in Georgia, Alabama, Kentucky, anywhere down the south, which is where I like to stay. So, like I said, this is just a little idea of what to expect. Uh, we're going to talk conspiracies, current events, church. It's going to be a simple conversation. There ain't going to be no high tech glitz video in the back. I'm not that high tech yet. My high tech's about as much as a webcam and a Bluetooth or a microphone on my collar so I can talk and walk at the same time. Can't talk and chew gum, but I can talk and walk. Like me, I can't walk and chew gum. I can talk and chew gum. But in time, you'll learn to understand the accent. It's like whether I say Lafayette, Lafayette, you know what I'm talking about. Santa Fe, Santa Fe. Estelle Springs, as Bob, as Bill Hall called it. I used to love that. I said, Bob, I said, Bill, there ain't no Estelle in it, it's Estelle. That's like saying shovel and fevel. I've heard people call it Pulaski. I've heard people call it Tullahoma, which is where I'm from. It's not Tullahoma, it's Tullahoma, but you call it what you want. That's the thing with America. You got the influx of different people. If you're of a French descent, you would call it Lafayette or Lafayette, Lafitte. That's like people around here say New Orleans and Louisiana. If you're from there, most of them out here call it New Orleans and Louisiana. I don't know. That's like I poke fun of people from Boston, from Massachusetts. They got their own language, but I still like to hear them when they say cockies, khakis. I watch Jaws especially. Like I said, it's gonna be ramble. It's about how I do anything. Back when I go out a whole lot, I just would put gas in the car. Had no destination, had no map. Threw a cooler in the back end of the truck or the car, and just took off down the road. And wherever I ended up at, that's where I ended up at. Some places I don't know how I got there. This is before GPS and internet. Don't know how to get back there. It's not till recently that when I was out riding around one night, didn't know where I was on the David Crockett Highway, which is just outside Winchester. But when it warms up and this ice goes away, we'll go on a little walking trip down at Rutledge Falls and Concord Cemetery and places I grew up at, and I'll tell you a few stories here and there. So some of them are true, some of them are made up, some of them I don't know. I'll share some that I've heard, some that I've read, you know, maybe some that I make up, who knows. Y'all be blessed now, yeah.